Hi, this is a video for Bring a Trailer. This is my restored 1973 Honda XR75KO. A little backdrop on this bike. Actually bought this bike probably back in 2003, restored the bike, sold the bike to a gentleman in Texas in 2004 or 5. And then about 3 years ago, this bike came up for sale, and unbeknownst to me, I purchased the bike back, not knowing. And once the bike was delivered, the gentleman that I purchased it from, he was selling it for a friend. He said, "Hey, take off that side plate. There's a Texas title." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so take the side plate off, and when I looked at the title, which that Texas title, a copy of it will come with the bike. It showed previous owner, and it had my name and address. At that point, I actually thought it was a scam. But all in all, I was very pleased to get this bike back. I have gone through, freshened up the restoration that was done on it. This bike now adorns NOS, brand new, 53-year-old factory painted Honda fenders and an NOS factory painted Honda gas tank. Tank's never had fuel in it. The bike's beautifully restored. All of the aluminum work has all been brushed, and that was done by a gentleman that I knew out in California. His name was Rick Caro. Big backdrop story on him. We're not going to get into that. The good thing is, all of his awesome brushed aluminum restoration work was done on this bike. This bike does have a quick laundry list of original and new old stock parts. New old stock parts will go with the engine. All the internal components, this engine has been gone through. It sports a 25 millimeter overbore with NOS Honda piston and rings. New Honda intake and exhaust valves, valve job. I redid the lower end of the unit. It's got new old stock Honda frictions and steels. All the spline washers, thrust washers on the transmission gears have been replaced. All the seals, gasket sets, all original Honda NOS parts. This bike also sports a very rare K&W front fork brace. New old stock parts, again, as I said. The gas tank, the fenders are brand new factory Honda painted parts. I do paint work on the side, and because of me possessing these NOS factory Honda painted parts, that's how I try to guarantee my customers, when I restore their body kits, they're getting the most accurate factory painted colors as possible. Levers, perches, throttle cable, clutch cable, front brake cable, all NOS. Carburetors, original carburetor, restored with a keister carb kit, ultrasonically cleaned. I will do another upload video of the bike running. The bike is stored in my basement. It has the original tread pattern that these bikes would have came with, and the original tire sizes also. A 300 by 14 in the rear and a 2.5 by 16 in the front. New stock Honda spokes. The rims are purchased from Honda back in 05. Today we would call them new old stock, but back then they were new stock. They are stamped in the perimeters with the Araya stampings, which I'll show in the video, but they are actually factory Honda Araya rims. But they're not the original rims that would have came on the bike in 1973. We'll do a quick little walk around. I'll try to show you all the stuff pertinent to the bike. It does have an original Honda Kurzman exhaust pipe. That's not a reproduction pipe. Again, when I got the bike back, there were a few things that were wrong with it. One, the body kit had to be repainted. which I had done. I had scratches from being out of my possession for almost 20 years. Throttle cable, throttle housing, carburetor, they were all incorrect when it came back to me. So this bike went through a couple different hands. The people never titled it back in their name. They did what's called title jumping. I do not do that. This bike is titled, has a Michigan title, and will be sold with a Michigan title that can be transferred into your name. Also included is a little dip dot Honda hanging sales tag. I have an original Honda owner's manual that you would have got with this bike in 1973, and a copy of a Honda sales brochure. There's some other bits and pieces of documentation that I have that's upstairs in a filing cabinet, and I don't quite remember. But we'll zoom in, start going over everything. We have an exact set of reproduction Honda shocks with the, be easier to see on this side, with the Showa 116 decals that would have been on the shocks. Again, everything on the bike is period correct. From the rear foot brake pivot pin assembly, that is an original Honda pivot pin NOS. Chrome that has been replated are the handlebars, the kicker arm, the shifter lever. Those were sent off to my plater. The side plates on this bike, these are the only things that I actually did paint. I did not have or could not acquire a set of NOS side plates. They're extremely hard to come by. The bike does have a toolkit. It's mounted under the seat. This is the original seat pan, original seat foam. This seat cover is the original textured for the Honda seat cover. It's a reproduction seat cover, but these seat covers I used to buy from a gentleman in Australia way back into the early 90s to the early 2000s when I was restoring bikes for myself. I mean, it's a spot-on, 100% correct seat cover. Piping, everything about it is just beautiful. It's got the rough texture. Coming down, this again, we're going to do a little zoom in on the brushed aluminum hubs, the brushed brake panels, the tires with the correct tread pattern that the bike would have had back in 1973. Another thing that was a little over-restored, chrome clutch arm instead of being white zinc. The rear brake stays chrome-plated. The rear brake rod has been chrome-plated, along with the front and rear original axles and axle spacers. The cam cover is in a brush finish, very similar to how the bike would have been. It has all the correct decal information. This one is about servicing your air filter. I always like to do a little shot up underneath the gas tank. It does have a brand new Honda Tech coil on it. Again, has the period decal that would have been on the neck of the bike, showing that it was manufactured in Japan. Again, this is an NOS factory Honda painted gas tank. This is not my paint work. To the purist, like myself, this is the best. Doesn't get any better. It's like finding a brand new barn find, 1967 Corvette in the garage that somebody bought and put away and never used. So, doing a kind of a little zoom in there. I'll try to show you the VIN number. That might be hard. I don't have a light to kind of shine on, but I'm hoping if I get at the right angle, you can see it. But I do have photos of it. Again, I don't have the best lighting here, so I'm trying to zoom in. It is visible in the photos. I don't remember exactly what the VIN is. I call it out. I know it's XR75 10048, and I think it's 43. And then coming down here to the engine, that's a again, you'll have to see it in the photos. But that's a 1004832. So it's 11 units different. That is basically a numbers matching period correct bike. I've never seen one of these bikes with engine matching the frame. XR75s are usually super close. I had sold one of these bikes on Bring a Trailer for $13,000, and that one was 4 units different. Again, beautiful brushed finish on the brake panels, lower legs. It's got the little cotter pin like you're supposed to keep the brake cable from popping out. Again, K&W Enterprise. Fork brace, again, super rare. I have those on my SL70s as well. I think it took me like 15 years to find 4 of them. So here's a photo, little video there of the rear fender with the tire pressure decal. Because of this fender being NOS and with that decal, I know where to put all the decals on the bikes. Again, metal support underneath the fender, inner mud guard, fender guard, beautiful shape. NOS kill switch, NOS throttle assembly, again with the NOS throttle cable. This is the original gas cap that's been re-chrome plated. You can tell they're original because the cap is flat on the top. The new Honda ones are kind of domed. And then, again, it's going to be kind of hard to see inside. This tank's never had fuel. It's got motor oil in it. That's how it came from Honda. They put like a Cosmoline in it. And NOS Honda grips. Again, levers, NOS. Anybody purchasing this bike, this is honestly the best bike out of all of them that I've had. They're all beautiful, but this one, because of the NOS original factory Honda body parts on it, this one just is a little bit more special to me. Thanks for looking.